What if China is quietly laying the foundation for a new global empire, one that doesn't rely on military might, but on trade, infrastructure, and sheer economic power? The Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, could be the key to unlocking China's vision of dominating global politics and trade. Launched in 2013, this ambitious project spans across continents, linking China to over 140 countries with the aim of revamping global trade routes and shaping the future of international relations. But is it a win-win for the world, or is China quietly using this project to extend its influence and control over some of the most strategic regions on Earth? Stay with us as we delve into how the BRI could not only transform economies but shift the balance of global power itself. The Belt and Road Initiative, also known as the New Silk Road, is a global development strategy spearheaded by the Chinese government. Its core aim is to enhance trade and investment flows between China and countries across Asia, Europe, Africa, and beyond. The BRI consists of two primary components. The Silk Road Economic Belt. This land route connects China to Europe, passing through Central Asia and the Middle East. The 21st Century Maritime Silk Road. This sea route links China to Southeast Asia, Africa, and Europe via the Indian Ocean and the South China Sea. The BRI is essentially a modern-day version of the ancient Silk Road, which facilitated trade between China and Europe for centuries. But today, it's far more expansive and ambitious. By investing in infrastructure, transportation, energy, and trade, China is working to build a vast network of trade routes that could potentially boost the global economy and China's geopolitical influence. How does the BRI work? The BRI is a combination of investments, partnerships, and development projects that span more than 140 countries, collectively representing over 60% of the world's population and 40% of global GDP. It's not just about building roads and railways, it's also about expanding ports, power plants, and airports. The projects are funded primarily by Chinese banks, and China often provides loans to these countries to help finance the infrastructure. However, these loans come with certain strings attached. Many critics argue that these loans could trap participating countries in debt, giving China significant leverage over them. Countries involved in the BRI receive much-needed infrastructure development, but in return, China gains access to new markets, resources, and strategic locations. This creates an interconnected global network that's crucial for China's economic growth and geopolitical power. Why is the BRI so important for China? For China, the Belt and Road Initiative is about more than just building infrastructure. It's about positioning itself as the global leader in trade and geopolitics. Here's why it's so crucial for China. Access to key resources. As China's economy grows, so does its demand for resources like oil, gas, and raw materials. The BRI provides China with easier access to these resources by connecting it to resource-rich countries in Africa, Central Asia, and the Middle East. Expanding trade routes. With more efficient and interconnected trade routes, China can strengthen its role as the world's largest exporter. This not only benefits China but also its trading partners who rely on these improved infrastructure links. Economic growth. By investing in these countries, China is helping to fuel economic growth in developing regions. This creates a win-win situation for both China and its partners, as the growth benefits from increased trade and investment flow. Geopolitical power. The BRI extends China's sphere of influence, giving it leverage over countries and regions that are strategically important. It helps China build stronger diplomatic and economic ties while promoting the Chinese yuan as a global currency. A new global economic order. By facilitating global trade, China aims to reshape the world's economic architecture, making it more favorable to its own interests. With the US and other Western countries focusing on their own domestic priorities, China is stepping in to fill the global leadership vacuum. While China's Belt and Road Initiative has garnered significant praise, it has also faced criticism and resistance from various quarters of the world. The United States, India, Japan, and several European countries have expressed concerns about the potential long-term implications of the BRI. The US response: the US sees the BRI as a strategic challenge to its dominance in global trade and geopolitical influence. There are concerns that the initiative could result in China creating an economic empire that dominates international markets and political institutions. Washington has responded by ramping up its own infrastructure development plans, such as the Blue Dot Network, an initiative aimed at providing an alternative to China's BRI. India's concerns: India has voiced strong opposition to the BRI, particularly because of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, a major component of the BRI that passes through disputed territory in Kashmir. India views the CPEC as a violation of its sovereignty, and it's concerned that China's growing presence in the region could undermine its own strategic interests. European reactions: while some European countries, like Italy, have signed agreements with China to join the BRI, others are wary of the long-term consequences. They fear becoming overly reliant on China, particularly with regards to debt. Some have even suggested that China's loans come with hidden costs that could lead to political and economic dependence. As with any major international development, the BRI has its pros and cons. Let's take a closer look at both sides of the debate. Pros: improved infrastructure. For many countries involved, the BRI represents a major opportunity to upgrade outdated infrastructure. This can result in greater economic integration, higher levels of trade, and increased connectivity. Economic growth. Increased trade and investment can stimulate job creation, enhance productivity, and raise living standards in participating countries. The initiative has the potential to lift millions of people out of poverty. Global connectivity. The BRI promotes cross-border collaboration, fostering deeper ties between countries. This interconnectedness could lead to greater stability and cooperation on global issues. Cons: debt trap diplomacy. Critics argue that China is luring countries into unsustainable debt, knowing that they may be unable to repay the loans. In some cases, China has taken control of key assets, such as ports, as collateral, raising concerns about its long-term influence over these countries. Geopolitical tensions. As we've seen, the BRI has caused friction between China and other major powers, particularly the US and India. The initiative is seen as a way for China to exert control over strategic regions, which may lead to conflict in the future. Environmental and social impact. Large-scale infrastructure projects often have significant environmental and social consequences. Critics have raised concerns about the environmental damage caused by the BRI's projects, including deforestation, pollution, and the displacement of local communities. Will the BRI lead to a new global empire? As we look to the future, one question remains. Could the Belt and Road Initiative lead to the creation of a new global empire, with China at its helm? In some ways, China already has the economic and political muscle to influence global events. The BRI provides China with the opportunity to extend its reach even further. However, it's unlikely that China will seek to establish a formal empire in the traditional sense. Instead, the BRI could lead to a new type of global order, one in which China holds significant sway over global trade, finance, and diplomacy, but does so through economic influence rather than military force. Ultimately, the success or failure of the BRI will depend on how well China manages its relationships with the countries involved, the global reaction to its growing power, and the sustainability of the infrastructure projects. If China is able to navigate these challenges, the Belt and Road Initiative could indeed mark the beginning of a new era of global leadership. What do you think? Will the Belt and Road Initiative create a new global empire, or is it simply a way for China to strengthen its economic and geopolitical influence? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. The Belt and Road Initiative is reshaping the global economic landscape in ways we've never seen before. While it holds incredible potential for trade, development, and global cooperation, it also raises important questions about debt, sovereignty, and the balance of power in the world. As the BRI continues to expand, its impact on global politics, economics, and security will be something to watch closely. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on the latest geopolitics and global affairs, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like the video, and share it with your friends.